Hello, ladies and germs, and welcome to the second episode of the 55 Diaries. We just want to thank you all so much for the wonderful reception we got from our premiere episode. A lot of positive feedback. We really appreciate it. My name is Looney, and let me introduce my co-host here. He is the Lucasville lover, the Scioto County stud muffin, the wizard of Whoopee. Ladies and gentlemen, Tank Runyon. What's up, Tank?
What is wrong with you? What is wrong? Lucasville, jeez, oh, peace.
We just call him like we sees him, man.
Oh, man, you need to get your eyes fixed. I
You're
don't know. Man. Winter's about gone. I know you hate that because summertime comes around, you sweat like no other person.
I'm
You
the
can
only
just look.
person that can sweat up a storm in an ice storm.
Yeah, yeah. But hey, you know what? Though? We're getting closer and closer, and hopefully stuff's starting to get back to normal a little bit for everybody.
And hopefully we're getting closer and closer to having some shows that we can run.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're all waiting for. First on the agenda, what I'd like to welcome our new sponsor to the 55 Diaries, WrestleFix.com. Are you seeing that okay?
WrestleFix.com. Oh boy. Yeah, I see it real good.
Yes, and we want to give a big shout out. You can also find WrestleFix on Facebook. You can like their page or join their group. We want to give a big shout out to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Husky Howard. And the first five people to go on the WrestleFix Facebook account and say you heard about them on the 55 Diaries, you will receive one genuine autographed boudoir risque picture of none other than Husky Howard himself. So look up WrestleFix.com, look them up on Facebook or whatever. And we want to thank Husky Howard and the WrestleFix people for their sponsorship of this fine show that we have right here.
I gotta make sure I'm number 6 or 7 then.
Oh, Husky's the man. He's the
Yeah,
man.
he's a good boy.
And Husky, just remember this, my friend. In the words of the soul man, Rocky Johnson, keep working the gimmick, baby. Keep
Keep
working the
hustling.
gimmick. Did
Keep
you happen to
hustling.
catch the young Rock?
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen advertisements for it. It's hard for me to get into um shows like it's kind of like they're trying to rip off that Young Sheldon show from like Big Bang Theory. And I get they're trying to cash in on Rock's name and value and everything, but when you see these rip off Macho Mans and Andre the Giants and everything, that's it's kind of like someone trying to be a king. Like there's only one Jerry the King Lawler, but then somebody else has to be called the King too.
An R.A. Kingfish? And a little later on, we are keeping an eye on the hotline. We may have we're supposed to have an interview with none other than Randy the King Allen, who will be calling into the executive red phone here. Um, right now, Tank, let's talk a little bit about the major leagues of professional wrestling and the WWE and so forth. Been a lot of stuff going on, a lot of big angles being shot. We're getting ready for WrestleMania. Edge winning the Royal Rumble and having a shot at any title he might have. A lot of stuff going on. Roman Reigns in the head of the table, man. I'm loving this stuff. But there's one thing that has broke the internet, and it's amazing. Tank, can you guess what I'm talking about? That one event that happened on live WWE television that has broke the internet.
The only thing I can think of right now is somebody taking their big ass and jumping up and down and slamming it on the apron, and then they start screaming, "My hole, my," hole." And that would be Nia Jax, and she has gotten a ton of mainstream media attention, all because she screamed her hole.
and for our viewing audience, I'd like to play, just in case you've been living in a cave somewhere and you haven't seen that clip yet.
You can do it.
Can everyone see that?
There it is.
Check this out. This is solid gold.
Just compressing Lana's face against the mat. And Lana at the mercy of Nia Jax now on the apron. On her Jax leg drop. Tailbone first into the hardest part of the ring. Well, that's all steel reinforcement out there, Tom. Lana's still got to find a way to Jax through the table.
Isn't that the funniest thing you've ever seen?
You know what though? Like, I've never been a real big Nia Jax fan.
Grammarly can help you write quickly and confidently, so you never have to slow down.
I never have been a real big Nia Jax fan. And I'll give Lana credit. You know, she has learned, and she's really putting in the effort to learn her craft. You know what I mean? She's really wanting to be good. And that's admirable because, you know, she wants to do good. But the spot they did to put Nia Jax to that table, you know Lana wasn't going to pick her up and fireman's carry and put her through the table. You know,
Right.
she was a power bomber. That's about the only spot that made sense for Lana to put her through that table. So like I said, she wasn't going to slam her, you know, and she can't bump herself through the table. So that was about the only way it could make sense. And that all got overshadowed all because Nia Jax screaming about her unholy hole.
I tell you what, when I seen that live, I laughed so hard I had tears coming out of my eyes.
I mean, she got a ton of attention. I think she got a little bit of heat over it too, just because of the attention she drawed to herself over that.
I just wonder if maybe she didn't do that deliberately, you know, rather than just a spur of the moment thing.
No, that spot was called. I say she probably wasn't expecting that apron to jump up and bite her in the ass like it did, or bite her in her hole.
My hole! I got to move on.
I didn't know if the second time was an echo when she said that, but
so funny. Okay, we want to encourage our viewing audience here to be sure to send in your challenge videos. We have a couple to show here today. One of them is just really crazy off the charts. And Bill, I think we've been challenged, but buddy, I'm not up to this challenge. Let me pull up. Can you see that?
yeah.
Check this out.
Okay, Tag, Looney, I got a challenge for you boys because I don't think you has got the balls to do this.
I don't.
Yes,
I don't.
Oreo cookie, piece of cheese, hot and spicy pork rind, a banana, and a grape. I guarantee you ain't got the balls to do it.
Oh my gosh. And she likes it. Look, she's loving it.
That's all right, boys. You ain't got the balls.
No, I don't.
I mean, I do it, but I'm allergic to pork rinds. Yeah, that's my story.
You gotta eat those things. I know that. Yeah, you know what's close, and that's when you think you're done.
That's some crazy shit.
That is crazy.
I know.
My God.
Okay, back to the meeting. Yeah, I call Uncle Mate. No, that's too much for you. We have one, and we want to encourage you to send in your crazy, your zany, your off the wall, whatever it is. We want to make you the star of the 55 Diaries. We've got one more to share with you here.
I guess we can tell Helen, since, you know, we're not going to do that. she gets her one guaranteed loony hug at the next RCW event.
Oh yeah, everybody does. Are we ready? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Submitted by Miss Angel Divine.
Hey, Lucy and Tank. It is Miss Angel Divine. I started last podcast and I would love to do an episode with you guys. But I decided I would send in a challenge video. And until the next podcast, I am the WVW Ultimate Diva, as everyone knows. So I challenge you both to the Ultimate Diva party with a bunch of light up balloons.
I think that's one challenge I could do.
Hey, Looney and Tank. It is Miss Angel Divine. I started last podcast and I would love to do an episode with you guys.
Okay. So yeah, everyone send in your videos. We don't care if you want to drive a 16 penny nail through your eyeball, if you want to jump off your roof into a wheelbarrow, walk on a floor full of Legos or whatever barefooted. And to Miss Donna Ballbreaker, you owe me a video, girl. You promised me that we would have one of you doing a hot pepper challenge. So Donna Ballbreaker, you're up for March, okay?
Video cut out, Looney, and I was trying to see what the girl's doing with the balloons. What she wanting to do?
I'm not sure. She just kind of kicked them around, turned off the lights, and they had. We'll get some clarification on that. Right now, the red phone is ringing, so we anticipating that we have Randy the King Allen. Okay, let me.
And the 55 Diaries would like to welcome special guest here tonight, none other than the often duplicated, never imitated Randy the King Allen. Welcome to the 55 Diaries, Randy.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. Hey, let me know about 60 seconds before we start on the air. I got to finish this Easter Twinkie. Just came out. It's got purple icing on the top of it. So I like 60 seconds before we go on air and finish this up real quick.
Okay, I'll give you a countdown whenever we get ready to get started, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you. God, these are good.
Randy, as you know, we have an issue that we need to get hammered out here. I'm hoping that you and me can come to some sort of a reasonable conclusion with a beef here between me and you. I'm referring to, let me pull up the screen share here. Can you all see that picture right there?
I cannot.
Okay, let me
scroll over.
hold on. Is it up there now?
There it is.
Oh no! What? Oh, I don't think that's
That's you.
well, who is the guy in the Hannibal Lecter outfit there?
Okay, let me set a background here for those of you that didn't catch our first episode here. What's going on here is that at the time Al Snow was the owner of Revolutionary Championship Wrestling. I was his go man. I was his boots on the ground, running day-to-day operations for him. And there was a power struggle between him and another RCW employee at the time, Mastermind. They were having a power struggle for control of the company. Well,
I recall this.
2 or 3 days before a big show, I was kidnapped. I was anesthetized, knocked out, and when I come to, I was backstage at the Elks for an RCW show, and lo and behold, I hadn't ate in 3 days, and I was absolutely starving. And then Randy the King Allen, as you can see from this picture right here, was taunting me with a Twinkie. Now, Randy, I'd like to get this hashed out here between me and you right now. So here's
here's what I'm willing to do to throw out the olive branch to you. If it's all right. Here's what I want.
Please feel free.
Okay. In order to make this right, I would like to not only have an apology from you here, but I would like for you to, on record, admit that you're a piece of garbage for doing this. That you're lower than well due, and you're absolutely the scum of the earth for actually a guy that's in this position right here who's absolutely starving to death, and you're taunting me with a Twinkie. I think that is about as low as a person can go. So if you'll be willing to admit that you're absolute pond scum, or maybe even lower than pond scum, then maybe we can put this to rest. Now, what do you have to say about that, Randy the King Allen?
Randy Kitty, hold on just one moment.
Oh, by the way, we started recording.
We're putting. Hello out there, Randy King Allen here. Great to have you guys. Let me say, I was the one ridiculed at that RCW event more than anybody did, because Al Snow at that event, and he made fun of me for my pre-match workout being Twinkies and Zingers. Like, you got like Max Power over here doing protein shakes, and you got like Trick Nasty doing stuff. And I'm just sitting there trying to get my sugar up, so my glucose don't drop during the match. And Al Snow was making fun of me. So I thought, here comes this guy along. And I'm going to be honest with you. I did not know that was you at the beginning. I did not know that was you. And I heard somebody say, hungry, hungry. So I thought I was getting ridiculed for my pre-match workout with sugar and carbs, that I thought I would just share with a man who's hungry. Now, the inability to eat on your part with that mask that you had on did not concern me. Like, that had nothing to do with me. Like, I was offering you food, man. Like, I was trying to help you out because you were starved.
Hey, look, can I say?
Yeah, please.
Picture in the background, that's me standing right there. My face is blurred out, but my shoulder is way above Randy's head, so I know it's me. And I watched that happen. I was there. You know what that was? That was capital punishment. That was. He knew you couldn't have that Twinkie. He knew you couldn't have that Zinger, and he sit there and he rubbed it in your face.
No, well, actually, you're right, Tink, because there was no video of this. There's only just a still photograph. I actually took the Twinkie and broke it apart and put it inside the cells of that mask and pretty much rubbed it on his face just to give this man a bite. And here I am getting called out and getting ridiculed. Well, I've had about enough of this, man. I want to set the record straight. There was a man that came in that I was kind of unsure who he was. I mean, he had about the same height, the same build, the same look as Looney, but his face was almost completely covered. And he said he was hungry. I tried to give the man a Twinkie because that's all I had, and I couldn't eat it anymore because Al Snow was making fun of me.
Bullshit. We know you don't share, Randy. You do it just to torment him. Don't lie to us.
Well, I did when Al got on to me because, he was the owner of RCW, and he didn't like my pre-match Twinkies in your workout. Like, he thought that I should be, doing creatine and power drinks and protein shakes and grilled chicken. I just needed some sugar because my glucose drops from time to time, and that's the truth.
There's a story you tell, brother.
So and then comes the man hungry. I can't eat no more Zingers or Twinkies because Al Snow's mad. So I thought, well, this man comes in, and I got to look and I think, my God, this man looks like Looney. What's going on here? So I was just simply trying to do a hungry man a good deed. And I come on here on the first episode of the 55 Diaries and get ridiculed with some absurd question about buying Twinkies in bulk. I mean, I was just trying to feed a hungry man because that's what the king does. Because I got plenty on my plate because I've always been the king, and I try to share with others just to let them have a little bit of that royalty.
So I take it I'm not going to get this apology, huh?
I mean, if you want me to say sorry, Looney, I'll say sorry. But I sincerely was trying to help you out. Here, get you a bite of this right here, man. Get you a bite. I mean, I sincerely heard you say, I heard you mumble something about hungry, and I sincerely was trying to feed you through that contraption that was on your face. I mean, obviously I didn't know it was you because you were dressed like a cannibal. And I thought, well, why is cannibal here at RCW? It's like, and Al was bringing in all sorts of different talent at that time, different creatures and people and weird looking beings. And I thought, well, man, you know, being the king, I want this man to feel welcome. So I wanted to share my Twinkie. I tell you who needs an apology is me for the unappreciation that I have been shown all these years for trying to share as I was taught as a child.
So I think I see how this is going right now. King didn't want to go here, but I think you kind of forced my hand at it.
Good.
Can you see that?
For your balls to be busted.
Can you see that?
I still see the picture up there.
Still see the Twinkie and torture, capital punishment.
See, there. If you look at Tank, just look at me. You see those little bars right there? Like after this photo, like I literally took pieces of that Twinkie and crumbled it up and stuck it in between there. And that way this man had something to eat. And I'm sitting here getting ridiculed over that for feeding a man who hasn't eaten in 3 days. I mean, what kind of crap is this?
And they don't call him loony for a reason. He's going to get you. I'm telling you. Oh, there it is. Son of a bitch. Ooh.
I didn't want to have to go here, but you left me no choice, Randy. So I think you have some explaining to do here.
I'm going to tell you something. The last person that shared that photograph got a letter from my attorney, and they have not been seen since. They showed up to their, that is a copyrighted photo, and I have paid $14,000 to have that thing copyrighted to no one could share it ever again. It should not be on the web anywhere.
Do you still have that outfit?
No, I don't have that outfit. I never wanted that outfit. That was an absolute disgrace to professional wrestling by the Tower of Doom, and that never should have happened. And I paid $14,000 to get that picture removed from the internet and to get it copyrighted because I didn't have to look at this freaking crap anymore. Like, that was the most lowest point in my career, and you guys want to put it out here publicly? I am absolutely appalled. This is bullshit.
Well, maybe you didn't get all the copies getting rid of because I got this personally, believe it or not, from TMZ. They actually had this in their file, and when I contacted them and said, this is for the 55 diaries, do you have any dirt on Randy the King Allen? They was more than happy to provide me with this. So I think
they'll be hearing from my attorney on Monday.
Okay, so yeah, TMZ, but that's not all, Randy.
Okay, this is going to turn into one of this is your life sessions, isn't it? I can just feel it.
Randy, I have a feeling you've done poke the bear.
I gave an apology for doing a good deed of trying to feed a hungry man. Like, I was forced to wear that outfit or I had to forfeit the SWF Heavyweight Championship. Like, I should have never. Oh, my God. I did not even know this picture existed. Do you know how big that your show and podcast here is going to blow up now that people have a picture of the Royal Crack right here on the 55 Diaries? I mean, this thing is going to go huge. I mean, look at that. That is a freaking work of marble art right there, man. I mean, Picasso couldn't make something look that good. Now, how you got a picture of that?
And I believe all three of us are in the ring right there at the same time.
And the fact that you guys are dwelling on this, makes me question, you know, why you have this. I mean, I can see, you know, young 18, 19-year-old girlfriends having that. I mean, because, you know, who don't like the king? But to see that, for you guys to have that, Looney, I'm a little disturbed.
There again, TMZ provided these with me. They evidently have a folder on Randy the King Allen. I mean, me and you've been up and down the road a few times, and I know I've been with you in restaurants, drive-throughs, and so forth. When someone will come up, some young girl, oh my gosh, aren't you Randy the King Allen? And
yes.
So I recognize your notoriety, that you're known abroad.
We were on the road together for a long time, Looney, and you were driving. I was sitting in the back seat. I just defended the IWA Heavyweight Championship. I was on my way to another show in Cincinnati that night, and we pull up to Wendy's, and the guy at Wendy's says, that guy in the back seat, he looks really intimidating.
I remember that.
So if I look so intimidating, why are you trying to ridicule me for me trying to feed you, man? You were starved. Like, I took food out of my own hand and tried to give to you, and this is what I get for it?
Are you calling Tank Runyon a liar? Because I was in the twilight zone at the time. I was under heavy medication. All I know is what Tank Runyon told me, and he said what he was doing was totally inhumane. It was gruesome. It made him sick. In fact, I think Tank Runyon actually had to go throw up in a trash can or something. He was just so appalled by someone would do something like that. Am I right on that, Tank?
Here's what happened, okay? Randy's sitting there and he had that zinger in his hand. He's sitting there holding it up to your face. And you can see by that picture where I'm standing there. He's like, you want to bite? I bet you want to bite. I bet you really want to bite, don't you? Well, screw you, pal. You ain't getting a freaking bite. Ha, ha, ha. Then he took a bite right after that in front of you, and then you damn near had a seizure throwing a fit so bad. Randy ain't telling that side of the story.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with the internet today. Who knows if that picture's even real? Like, there's so much Photoshop. I mean, I've just seen Bernie Sanders in his mittens at 1,500 different people's houses this past week. You know, that picture was probably me getting ready to take a bite of that Twinkie, and then you Photoshop a picture of Looney in here, and then because everybody in the background appears to be blurred out. So, I mean, obviously, you know, that right there is enough to make you question that what you guys are spreading right here is fake news, and I don't appreciate it. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I will admit that there was a man that came back there that kind of had a resemblance of Looney that night, and I tried to feed this man, but I would never, ever be so cruel to taunt a man with a Twinkie, especially as much as I love Twinkies.
Does this look familiar?
Yes. Oh, you guys are way too much.
Another photo supplied by TMZ. Randy, I'm just putting this out here. You know, the proof is in the proof. The photos are here. I think, going back to what we talked about originally, I think that not only an apology is due here, I think that you should come clean and say, look, Looney, I'm scum of the earth. I'm lower than well poop, and I want your forgiveness. What's that, Tank?
He's worse than a used tampon.
Oh.
The only used top tampons I ever found was at Bill's girlfriend's house. But other than that, I haven't seen any for a while. So
that's come back. You have, Randy, because you're busted, Mister, busted.
I was in a very crucial moment at that, and that referee that was in that match with the shiny bald head, just like this man right here, the Looney referee was showing absolutely no mercy on me that night. And he expects me, oh, fine, because of that crap right there where he showed me no mercy, he cheated me. That's why I taunted him with the Twinkie. I admit it. I took that Twinkie and I said, here, get you a fight, you piece of trash. You're with the Coven. I hate the Coven. I don't care if you got kidnapped. You want to fight? Right here it is, fat man. Come and get it. And I wouldn't give him a fight. I wouldn't. In fact, if he would have caught on fire that night, I wouldn't have took a leak on him to put him out.
What are you going to call you fat for?
So my apologies, Mr. Horton, if we want to shoot here, my apologies that I taunted you with the Twinkie. I must be lower than well crap or whatever you said. Because you showed me no mercy. You put up pictures of me of Oompa Loompa, which is totally photoshopped. You put up pictures of me getting choked out by a chair by Dirk Extreme. Like, what more can you do to me, man? So yeah, you want to do all that to me, and then you expect me to give you a bite of my Twinkie? But I shoved that thing right down my throat, and I never regretted it one day. I ate every bite of that, and he sat there and watched me when he was starving.
Hey, Looney.
I admit it.
What if I can get somebody on our podcast here to verify that the Oompa Loompa picture is indeed real? It is true, because he was standing there when that picture was taken. I'm pretty sure you know who he is, Randy, because his name rhymes with Randy. It says
and his last name Runyon?
His name's Runyon. I'll get Andy Runyon on here.
Well, 55 Diaries universe, there you have it. Randy the King Allen cracked under the scrutiny of St. Runyon and Looney. He come clean, and with that, being the bigger man taking the high road here, Randy the King Allen.
I just want to hash it out. Looney, I'm not that person.
Good enough.
There was a lot of times that I did some shady stuff in RCW. I won titles that I probably shouldn't have won. But that night that when I was in that I Quit match, I deserved that. I wrestled 3 matches to win that title that night. My first tag team title, I probably didn't deserve it. I've done a lot of bad stuff in my career, but man, just let me apologize to you. In my defense, at first I did not know that it was you, because you were pretty bad looking, man. I mean, you had been stuck in a basement or something for like 3 days, and you were starving, and you kind of smelled a little bit, and you looked kind of homeless. And so I thought they were bringing me a homeless man, and I was like, man, this guy ain't worthy to be in the same room as the King. I'm not giving him a bite of a Twinkie. And then I realized it was you, and I was like, maybe I should have been a little nicer.
Well, King, I just got one more question for you, if you don't mind. One more item that the public, the 55 Diaries universe, would like to know.
Absolutely.
Is it true that at one time you was a pimp? In fact, let me take it another step further. That he was actually a super pimp.
P-Y-M-P at that.
P-Y. I was indeed a super pimp. If you look at some of the old social media, you could see me partying with Wrestling Fest, the Mastermind, probably Tank Runyon's in a few of the pictures, Andy Runyon. I know even Meltdown was in one of the pictures with me. Great superstar of the day, Mr. Fitness. And I've wrestled so many Ricochets, I couldn't tell you which Ricochet was in the pictures with me. But the King did used to be a little bit of a super pimp at one time, but I always had to spell my name a little bit different so they didn't get confused with novelty pimps out there. I wanted to know that they were still messing with royalty with Randy the King Allen, and I wasn't just a pimp, I was a super pimp. So that I'm going to come clean on that one too. Since this is a day of confessions, and I think you could confess you could have been a little nicer to me when I was getting that chair in my throat and had blood dripping out of my head. You could have been a little nicer and helped me maybe get some, a singlet instead of wrestling trunks that fall down to show the royal crack. I will confess that I taunted you with the Twinkie and that I was a pimp of super qualities.
And I'm a man of my word. I said that if you would come clean and admit that you're lower than wealthy, that I'd let bygones be bygones. But my friend Tank Runyon, I'm not so sure if he's going to be an easy sell on this or not. But as far as Looney goes, it's all water under the bridge, my friend.
I tell you what, I've got 10 more of these in the box. This is only the second one I've ate. I will put them in the mail tomorrow with your name on them. And that way you can eat Twinkies galore, courtesy of Randy, paid for by Randy the King Allen.
That is awesome. Awesome.
Yes. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Tankster, you have any final words before we let Kingfish get back to his royal duties?
Hopefully stuff gets opened up here and we can get another show going here locally pretty soon. Get Randy out.
Absolutely.
Get Randy to show up there, pull his tights up in the middle of the ring, go out there, drop an elbow, and
Man.
you know, those clock's ticking, you know, we ain't got a whole lot of time left where we can actually physically handle it anymore.
You're right, you know, and that's the thing is, you know, about 4 years ago, I went to all the promoters I was working for at the time, you know, Gary Dameron and Dirk, and I think Bull Miller, I was still doing a little bit there, and I was doing some little stuff, other places occasionally. But I just kind of said, hey guys, look, I need to take a little break, man. I got the crap knocked out of me. I got my nose broken. Like, I just need to step away. Well,
that's your fault right there too, buddy. Because
it is. I could wrestle you.
You could have wrestled me. You could have wrestled Jabari, and he beat the piss out of you. So
he did. And after that, man, I was like, I got to walk away for a little bit. I got to step away. And the next thing I know, a year turned into 2 years, and then 2 years turned into 4 years. And I was like, you know, I want to give everybody that supported me over these many years a proper goodbye. So February 29th last year, I thought, man, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do a series of matches, and I'm going to say goodbye the proper way. And, well, then COVID hit, and here I am still living off of February 29th. So, but I would love to drop a few more elbows before it's time to hang up the tights.
Yep. Sounds good, Kingfish. And on behalf of 55 Diaries, we want to thank you very much for your spending this time with us. I'm sure the 55 Diary universe will really enjoy this interview. And as far as I'm concerned, you're welcome back anytime.
Hey, thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Any final words, Tank?
Randy Allen, I've known this dude now for, years upon years upon years. And
Tank was one of the very first members of the King's World Order back in like 1999.
Yeah, probably longer than that, actually.
Probably was.
98. Like
98? Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of aging ourselves there a little bit, but every time it comes time to go, Randy would go out there, he wouldn't half-ass it. He'd give you everything he had, and he'd chop the living crap right out of you and make it hurt like a son of a gun.
Absolutely.
But he always did his best, and he tried to entertain people. And for that, you can ask much more. If it means dressing like a Oompa Loompa.
Hey, I mean, I wore a dress, Oompa Loompa outfit. I did what I had to do to get by in the wrestling business. I always wasn't, the most aerial guy. I wasn't the most technical sound. I always considered the microphone to be my specialty and my strong point. But what I did have to give, what talent I did have and in-ring ability, I did try to give 100% every time. And like I said, I always wasn't the best at everything, but what I did have to offer to the wrestling business, I always tried to give 100%.
But you do have a very impressive cartwheel. I will say that.
Thank you. I still get compliments on my cartwheels these days. The last kid that said that was 16, and I slapped the taste right up in his mouth. He's related to Dirk Extreme, so it didn't bother me one bit.
All right, we'll let you go now, Kingfish. So you take care, and we'll catch you later.
Have a good day, guys.
See you, Randy.
See you.
All right, gang. That was quite an interesting interview there, and we really appreciate Randy the King Allen joining us right now. Tankster, are you there? We're having some technical difficulties with Tank Runyon right now. While we're waiting on Tank to solve his difficulties here, why don't we go to our cameo of the month right now? I think you really enjoyed this. I know I did. Check this out, gang. None other than Gilbert himself. This is hilarious. And if anyone wants to know what to get me for my birthday, get me a personalized message from Gilbert. Check this out.
What is up, man? Big Coop. Huh? The Big Coop. All right, here we go, Big Coop. Jimmy Greger, this is what I'm understanding, is a personal injury lawyer and thinks he speaks perfect Spanish. Is that like, now hold on, is your Spanish go like this? Hey, Holmes, how you doing, man? How's everything today? That's not Spanish. That is a Spanish accent. Do you say, chinga mana, auto tuyo, man? Yeah. You know, chinga pada. Yeah, you know. Uno, dos, pues, Paco. Ding. Yeah, bully.
Oh my gosh, you gotta love this guy.
Here, so look, you don't speak perfect Spanish. This is what I'm getting told. You do not speak perfect Spanish. Hey, ¿cómo está usted, dude? How you do, man? Yeah, that don't work, brother. That don't work. ¿Cómo está? Hey, Holmes. You know, just because you know a couple words. That is.
I need to get Gilbert booked on a local show.
So from the Gilbert and Matt Finney, I'm just messing with you, brother. You have a good one here, and don't speak Spanish no more.
All right. That is awesome. Hey, Tank Runyon is having some technical difficulties. His internet has went out. So what I'm going to do right now for the 55 Diary universe is something that I promised. And I thought very seriously about backing out of this, but I promised it. So I'm going to deliver, ladies and gentlemen. Looney will attempt, and I say attempt, to swallow 4 raw eggs. Keep in mind, I have never done this before, not even one. So you just might get to see me hurl all over the place. Let me aim that camera down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm really going to do this. And with this, I challenge anyone else in the 55 Diary universe to top this. Oh boy. Can I back out? Okay. Bottoms up. This just for you, 55 Diaries universe. Oh my gosh, that was awful. So with that, on behalf of Tank Runyon, Randy the King Allen, this is Looney. Be watching for our next episode of the 55 Diaries. I'm going to get sick and throw up. Looney loves you all. Take care. God bless you all.